All right, well, let's check it out for Carrington and New Rockford, Cheyenne from your North Dakota Weather Authority. This is for surrounding areas as well. Wind chill advisory in effect until 1 p.m. this afternoon. Otherwise, forecast today calls for a mostly cloudy sky. Isolated flurries this morning with daytime highs near 0. And northwest winds around 10 to 15. Wind chills 25 below 0. Tonight, decreasing clouds. Lows around 15 below. West winds around 15. Wind chills 35 below 0 for tonight. Tomorrow, could see colder wind chills once again. Lowest wind chills 40 below in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny for tomorrow afternoon. Daytime highs of 10 above. West winds around 15 to 20. And tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Lows around 5 below. West winds around 15 to 20. And Friday, sunny with highs of 10 above. West winds at 10 to 15. Road report for our area here. Looks like everything's pretty good. 200 westbound, though. West of McCluskey, you'll have some scattered snow drifts all the way over to 83. Other than that, 281 looks good. 200 eastbound looks good. And 52 to Minot. All good this morning. Radar looks to be mainly dry for North Dakota. All right, let's check area cities here before we get to Carrington's current conditions. Right now, Jamestown's 1 below and overcast. Harvey's 2 below and mostly cloudy. Devil's Lake, 2 below and overcast. Right now in Carrington, 39% is the humidity. Winds out of the northwest at about 8, up to 13 at times. The pressure reads 30.58 and rising. And right now, our temp is 3 below. Wind chill factor 18 below 0. More weather found 24 hours a day on our website of newsdakota.com. All right, it's 8:23 here this morning. Greg with you. It's time now for Here's What's Happening in Carrington and surrounding areas. Today's segment brought to you by Creative Treasures on Main Street here in Carrington. You can see them for screen printing, embroidery, floral bouquets, and balloons. That's Creative Treasures in Carrington. Joining us this morning in the KDAK studios for Here's What's Happening is our special guest from the Foster County Soil Conservation District this morning. Joining us, Joel Lemire, Foster County agent. Good morning, Joel.
Morning, Greg.
And also Dion Schaff, the district manager. Good morning, Dion.
Good morning.
And Kurt Klein, chairman and board of supervisors. Good morning, Kurt.
It's morning.
Now, Kurt, before we get in today's segment, we got to talk a little football. I got to ask you, what was your favorite? Did you have a favorite commercial on the Super Bowl?
Well, I really had two. That Budweiser one with the little puppy,
yep,
always getting out, and he made friends with a Clydesdale horse. Mm-hmm. And the other one where the brother stole the Doritos from the sister, and the sister jumps on the dog and lassos him, and that was my two favorite ones anyway.
Yeah, I like the Doritos one. They had some pretty good ones this year again. So how about you guys? Did you have any favorites, Joel or Dion?
The Dorito ones are always good.
Yeah, they were good. And Dion, how would you like?
I have to confess, I was doing something else. But I did see the one on the internet, the Hello Ladies. I thought that was kind of cute.
with the bull.
The bull, yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one. It was a Chevy ad, and they took the bull into where all the females were at. So yeah.
And of course, they catch everybody licking out their noses.
Yeah, that was a good one too. So, all right, well, let's start things this morning with Dion. Thanks, you guys, for coming in again. Dion, you want to talk a little bit about the CSP program, correct?
Well, Brandon, our DC, couldn't come this morning, but he asked me to just remind everybody that they are still taking applications, but the deadline is this Friday, the 7th, so if you're interested in that program at all, please come in and see them in the next couple days here. And that's for basically applying conservation practices, and usually it's to augment what you're already doing. So that's something that they've had a lot of interest in, but the deadline is coming.
Okay, so you got to get that in by this. Let's see, when is the deadline?
The 7th is this Friday.
Okay, yeah. So short time. So how do you do that again? Get a hold of you, or?
That would be an NRCS program. You want to talk to Brandon or Nicole for that.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Anything else before we go to Joel this morning?
I think let's have Joel talk about his workshop.
Okay, Joel Lemire, go ahead, take it over.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Just a kind of a heads up to our area producers and our area agribusinessmen and agribusinesswomen. The Foster County and Eddy County Extension Service with our soil conservation districts have put together a soil health workshop. The title of the workshop will be Soil Health Managing Salinity. Salinity has been a big problem in this part of the state the last several years with the excess moisture that we have been seeing in the springtime of the year. The workshop is scheduled for Wednesday, February 26th. It'll run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Carrington Research Extension Center just north of town. Our major topic areas, controlling the water will control the salts is one topic area, and that's going to be presented by Abby Wick. Abby Wick is our NDSU soil health specialist out of Fargo. And Lee Breeze, our production agronomist that works with our soil health people as well. Our next major topic area would be what's your number. We're talking about your EC number, which indicates the salt level in your soil, as a starting point for active management. And that part of the program will deal with soil sampling, determining your EC number, and using that then to start making some management practices to alleviate that salinity problem, or at least control that salinity problem. And that program, part of that program will also be conducted by Lee Breeze and Abby Wick. Break for lunch. After lunch, we'll come back and we'll talk about reducing your risk, what you need to know about crop choices on saline soils. We'll have Chris Augustine. Chris is an area extension soil health specialist from the Research Extension Center out of Minot, one of our area's soil health specialists, and he and Lee Breeze will talk about some things along the line of what crops can you raise on saline soils, based on the level of saline that you have and so forth. Wrap up our program with the use of cover crops to effectively help control or minimize the effects of salinity. That part of the program will be conducted by Tim Becker, Eddy County Extension Agent from New Rockford, and once again Chris Augustine. And that part of the program will deal with the use of cover crops to improve soil health and also to combat the effects and help control salinity in your soil. So once again, Soil Health Managing Salinity, Wednesday, February 26th, 10 a.m. at the Carrington Research Extension Center.
And how can you just show up, or do you have to?
It's wide open to the public.
Okay.
Anyone can show up. No pre-registration required.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Joel. Dion, back to you. What do you want to touch on more this morning?
I want to mention first again that we do have one of our supervisors on the Board of Supervisors is thinking he wants to leave the board this year, so we're looking for someone to replace him. What the board does, basically boil it down, is they control and supervise the activities of the district, set policies for operation, and they're responsible for making sound decisions representing the district's landowners. And so the board generally meets once a month, usually the second Monday of the month in the morning. There are some other events through the year that they can attend if they're able to, things like Eco-Ed Day, first grade tree planting, field tours, area meeting, that kind of thing. Basically the requirement is that the board members must live in Foster County and be eligible to vote here. We would like, if at all possible, to get somebody from the eastern half of the county, because we're kind of low on representation from over there right now. But anybody who's really interested in, working toward conservation in Foster County, please contact us.
Okay. And that would be for the term coming up.
That
this
would
year or
be for this fall's election.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. And then you want to touch on the living snow fence as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm hoping that people have had some time to think about this, where the snow is tending to drift across their road, or where the blowing snow makes it hard to see when it's storming. And these would be the kind of places where you want to think about putting in some living snow fence. This would be plantings of trees or shrubs or some kind of vegetation on the road that controls that snow effect. Basically, as you know, windbreaks are going to reduce the wind speed, and they're going to control where that snow gets deposited. So it can help with both the blowing snow and the drifts. You probably, in most cases, are going to be looking at the north or west side of the road. And in these, most of the time, your windrow windward row, the one that's farthest north or west, is going to need to be at least 200 feet from the road, and the row nearest needs to be at least 100 feet. You may have seen spots where windbreaks are actually making snow on the road worse, and that's because they're placed wrong. Usually they're too close to the road. You need to have them a little farther back, and that's when they become effective. So if anybody's, noticed a spot like this and they think they'd like to do something that's going to make travel a little easier, please give us a call. In fact, at this point, we are still doing tree plants. We are still ordering trees. It's a little more difficult this time of year because we can't actually get out there and really look at the ground until the thaw, but we can still work on tree plants. We can still order trees, so let us know if you're interested for living snow fence or for any other purpose.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Kurt, did you want to talk more about all this stuff that we're topic this morning here?
Well, I'm going to maybe talk a little bit about portable windbreak fence program. Okay. And it's a program with NRCS along with Equip. You can go through them, or you can go through the Keller Creek Watershed program. And basically what it is these portable windbreaks are basically 8 feet by 24 feet, and you can pick them up with a loader and move them. And they're encouraging farmers to maybe look into this program, and they could feed away from the yard, keep the manure and stuff away from the yard, and take it out maybe into your fields. Maybe not like on a day like today, but so the nutrition from the cow, we're talking the really dirty stuff now, the manure and the urine, gets spread out through a bigger area just in your yard. And sometimes producers feed their cattle next to a riparian area, and then when they do that, you come spring runoff, and then that runoff goes in the streams, contaminate water. So they're encouraging farmers to try and go through this program and take their cattle further out into their fields if all possible. And another advantage of this, if you happen to get out of cattle, you have these portable windbreaks. You can sell them as a resale value. I think it's very good on them. And easier for cleaning lots too. You just pick them up, move them out of the way, and a little bit easier for cleaning. Another advantage of the windbreak, they claim it'll cut the wind speed down to 70%. If you have a windbreak out in the open area. And that's kind of major, because if you take a cow like today and feed her out in the open with no windbreak, it's going to take 50% more feed, because there's just no break from the wind. And so that plays an important part too. And an 8-foot windbreak probably would slow the wind down up to about 30 or 40 feet out. And the way that they do this program, they go by the number of heads you have. So if you have approximately 50 head, you'd probably need an area of 8 feet by 80 feet, which is about 2,700 square feet. So that would probably qualify you for cost share on this 3 or 4 of those freestanding windbreaks. And one windbreak, which I said is an 8 by 24, probably costs about $650. So you go through these two programs, you maybe get close to a 40% cost share in this, and be able to get the cows out away from the yard, feed them there, and I think it's a really good program for the cattlemen, and to be something to check into.
All right, sounds good. Anything else this morning, Dion?
Well, I did just want to mention, as Kurt mentioned just now with the portable windbreaks, the Keller Creek Watershed Project is still active. We are available to offer cost share assistance. That covers the area of Kelly Creek, Carrington Creek, Scott Slough, and any tributaries that go into them, any areas that drain into those creeks and their tributaries. And what the Watershed Project does is it provides 60% cost share. So that's for installation of best management practice. The only thing is that one effect of those practices has to be that it decreases the amount of nutrients or animal waste that are getting into the drainages. So that can mean anything from nutrient management on crop fields to improving or even moving your livestock feeding areas. Saline soil management, like Joel was talking about, that's a possibility. Runoff control structures or plantings like cover crops, hayland plantings, fencing, water developments that get the cattle out of the creek like pipelines and wells. There's a wide variety of practices that can apply to this, and if you're doing a couple of them, this is something that if you're thinking about doing a couple of them, this is something that the watershed might be able to help you out with.
All right, sounds good. We are out of time. Thanks so much, you guys, for stopping in. Have a great day, and we will talk to you again next month.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You bet. Thank you, guys. That was joining us this morning from the Foster County Soil Conservation District. It was Joel Lemire, Kurt Klein, and Dion Schaff. We have to join the Sports Network already in progress.
Carlson. Division I colleges across the country are holding signing day parties for football and other sports, as today is National Signing Day for college football.